Now come to the question number 5. Question number 5. In this Roman also 4 parts are there. 4 parts are there. 4 questions are there. In this Roman 4 questions are there. The first question here I am explaining the first question. See, factorize x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2. We have to factorize that polynomial. If you observe this polynomial, it is a cubic polynomial. If it is a cubic polynomial, it has 3 factors. If it is a quadratic polynomial, it has 2 factors. Okay, my dear children. So, listen these steps, my dear children, how to factorize a cubic polynomial. Here there are 2 methods. First I explain the first method. Method 1. First let us assume that p of x is equal to x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2. First we are assuming the given polynomial is p of x. Okay, my dear children, understood? Right. Now we shall look for all the factors of 2. Here what is the constant here? Monic. Monic means coefficient of the highest order of x is 1. So x cube quotient is 1. So we take here constant only. Here see the constant. So we are write the factors. So you know, in the case of quadratic, monic quadratic polynomial, we follow the same steps here also. So 2 is equal to 1 into 2. Then the factors of 2 here, 1, 2, not only 1, 2, we have to take minus 1 and minus 2 also. In the case of quadratic polynomial, we did not take negative values, whereas here we should take negative values also. 1, 2. So 1, 2. Along with these 2 numbers, their negatives, minus 1, minus 2 also. Total 4 values we got here. How many values we got here? 4 values. Okay, my dear children. They are 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2. Now we have to substitute these 4 values in the given polynomial. We have to substitute these 4 values in the given polynomial one by one. So by trial, just I am substituting only first one. I am not substituting the remaining 3. Okay, my dear children, by trial we find p of 1. By substituting 1 in this polynomial, we have p of 1 is equal to 1 cube minus 2 into 1 square minus 2 minus 1 plus 2. In this polynomial, we are replacing x by 1. Then we get this statement. We get this step. Understood this step, my dear children? Right. Now we simplify each and every term separately. In the previous examples, many examples I explained. While you are finding the value of a polynomial, we have to find the value of each and every term separately in the rough work, and we add them. We join them. Understood the point, my children? So 1 cube value is 1, minus 2 into 1 square value is minus 2, minus 1 plus 2. Understood this step, my children? In rough work, we have to find out the values of the first term and the second term separately. Okay, my children? I am not doing that part here because I have explained for many sums. Okay, my children? So finally, by simplifying these 2 terms, 1 plus 2, we get here 3 positive numbers. Negative numbers minus 2, minus 1, we get here minus 3. So 3 minus 3, what will you get here? 0. So here we got p of 1 is equal to 0. It means remainder. I told you many times, p of 1 is equal to 0 means it is a remainder. Remainder is 0. So by the factor theorem, we can say that x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. By using the knowledge of factor theorem, we can say that x minus 1 is a factor of the polynomial p of x. So since it is a factor of the polynomial p of x, we divide p of x by x minus 1. Long division. We use here long division. We have already discussed long division in the previous exercises. So I am not explaining in detail. I am not explaining step by step of this long division. By long division we get here, this is quotient and this is the remainder. So dividend is equal to divisor into quotient. Understood this equation 1? We consider this result as equation 1. If you observe this equation 1, this is one factor. Again this is also another factor. At the beginning of this question, what I told you, the cubic polynomial has two factors. But how many factors you got here? Two factors only. X minus 1 is one factor. X square minus x minus 2 is another factor. But we should get three factors. If you observe this second factor, it is a monic quadratic polynomial. It is a monic quadratic polynomial. So let us factorize this monic quadratic polynomial separately. Okay, my dear children? Understood? Right. Here we assume this polynomial is equal to x minus 1 into x square minus x minus 2, equation 1. We have considered that result as equation 1. Previously I told you this is a monic quadratic polynomial. Now we are going to find the factors of this monic quadratic polynomial. We are going to factorize this monic quadratic polynomial. Now we are taking that monic quadratic polynomial. X square minus x minus 2 is equal to. So here what is the sign of constant? Minus. Sign of constant. We follow the same steps here also. Remember, recall that steps, my dear children. How to find factors of a monic quadratic polynomial. We follow the same steps here also, because the given this polynomial is a monic quadratic polynomial. So first we write the sign of the constant, that is minus. Now we take the constant without sign. We ignore here sign, that is 2. We wrote this 2 as the product of two numbers, 1 into 2. After that here minus is there, so big number minus a small number, we get here 1. What is the middle term here? 1. So we split the middle term by using the splitting the middle term method. We are finding the factors of this monic quadratic polynomial. So we write first term and last term as it is. We are splitting this middle term. Minus of x can be written as 2x minus x, 2 minus 1. Just write after this number x and after this number x. That means 2x minus x. Understood this step, my children? Right. After that we use distributive property, distributive law. In the number system you have learned distributive property. So x square minus 2x minus of minus plus x minus 2. We wrote all the four terms. Understood that step, my dear children? Here in this step we got four terms. For each and every term we have to write prime factors. X square first term, minus 2x second term, x third term, and minus 2 fourth term. In rough work I am writing the factors of each and every term by prime numbers. We factorize it. So x square can be written as x into x, minus 2x can be written as minus 2 into x can be written as 1 into x, and minus 2 can be written as minus 1 into 2. Understood this part, my dear children? Right. Now from the first two terms, what is the common factor here? X. So we can take it out, that common factor x. And then it in the brackets, what is left here? X. And what is left here? Minus 2. So x minus 2. X minus 2, we write it in the brackets. Next, from these two terms we can take plus 1. So sometimes we take minus 1 and sometimes we take minus 1, so that we get the same polynomial in these brackets. Understood that part, my dear children? Be careful while taking the common factor here. So by taking 1, we get here 1, here minus 2 in the brackets. Understood this step, my dear children? Right. From these two terms, again we got here two terms. In these two terms, x minus 2 is a common factor. So we take it out, x minus 2 common factor. Then what will be left here? X. Here what will be left here? Plus 1. So we factorize this monic quadratic polynomial. X minus 2 is one factor and x plus 1 is a second factor. So we substitute these two factors in the equation 1. So substitute the factors of x square minus x minus 2, that is x minus 2 into x plus 1 in the equation 1. We get x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2 is equal to, already x minus 1 is there. We write that factor as it is. For the second factor, that is monic quadratic polynomial, for that one we got these two factors, x plus 1 into x minus 2. We can write the two factors in any order, nothing wrong. Understood, my dear children, this method? Right. Now come to the second method. Okay, my dear children, we are finding the factors. We are factorizing this cubic polynomial in the method 2, in the second method. In this polynomial, how many factors are there? 4. How many terms are there? 4 terms. First term is x cube, second term is minus 2x square, third term is minus x, and fourth term is 2. Okay, my dear children. Now we are writing the factors of every term. X cube can be written as x into x, minus 2x square can be written as minus 2 into x, minus x can be written as minus 1 into x, and 2 can be written as 1 into 2. We wrote the factors of each and every term. We wrote the prime factors of each and every term. After that, if you observe the first two terms, x into x, these are the common factors. It means x square is a common factor for the first two terms. We take it out, x square. By taking out the common factor x square, we get here x, here minus 2. We write these two terms in the brackets. Within the brackets, we write x minus 2. Understood this term, my dear children? Right. From the third term and fourth term, what are the common factors here? 1. So we are taking here not only 1. Previously I told you sometimes we can take plus 1 and sometimes we take a minus 1, so that we get the same factor in the brackets. Okay, my children, that is why we are taking out here minus 1. So if you take here minus 1, we get here x, here we get minus 2. Understood this term, my dear children? Right. Again from these two terms, here this is one term and this is a second term. Again from these two terms, what is the common factor? What do you observe? X minus 2 is a common factor. So by taking out that common factor, what do you get here? X square, and here what you get? Minus 1. We write these two terms within the brackets. Understood this step, my dear children? Right. That is equal to x minus 2 into x square minus 1 can be written as 1 square. What is the value of 1 square? 1 only. That is why we can write this 1 as 1 square. Now if you observe this polynomial, it is in the form of a square minus b square. Algebraic identities we have learnt in 8th class. It is in the form of a square minus b square. I wrote here that algebraic identity a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. We use that previous knowledge. Understood, my dear children? So we write this factor as it is x minus 2. Now we are writing the factors of this quadratic polynomial a plus b into a minus b by using this algebraic identity. So these are three are the factors of this monic cubic polynomial. Understood, my dear children? In the first method also we are getting the same factors. In the second method also we get the same factors. Understood, my dear children? Right. Now come to the second part of the Roman number 5. This Roman number 5, second question or second part. Factorize x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. we have to factorize this polynomial. If you observe this polynomial, it is a monic cubic polynomial. Isn't it, my dear children, or not? Yes. So, how many factors will be there for this monic quadratic cubic polynomial? 3 factors. So, we have to find 3 factors for this polynomial. Okay, my dear children, remember this point. Now, let us assume that p of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. We are assuming that given polynomial is p of x. Therefore, we wrote this step. P of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. After that, what are the steps we followed for the first question in the method 1? Here also we follow the same procedure. We follow the same steps here also. What is the constant here? Ignore sign. Ignore sign. What is the constant here? 5 only. I told you many times, ignore sign here. Only constant numerical value, that is 5. For this 5 we write factors 1 into 5. Therefore, factors of 5 is 1 minus 1, 5 minus 5. For the previous question also, we have taken negative values. Here also, we follow the same step. Understood the step, my children? Factors of 5 is equal to 1 minus 1, 5 minus 5. Actually, we have to substitute all these 4 values. We have to substitute all these 4 values in the polynomial p of x, and we have to check when we get a remainder 0. So it is a long process. So by trial and error, we are finding p of minus 1. I am not taking 1 here. Directly I am taking here minus 1. If you don't know, you have to find all 4 values. We have to substitute all 4 values in the given polynomial separately, and we have to check at which stage we are getting 0. Okay, my children? But here I am taking directly next number, second number, minus 1. I am substituting minus 1 in the polynomial p of x. I am replacing x by minus 1 directly. Okay, my children? So, therefore, we get here p of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 whole cube minus 3 into minus 1 whole square minus 9 into minus 1 minus 5. Understood this step, my children? Right. Now, we simplify each and every term separately. I told you many times, you simplify the terms, every term separately in the rough work. I have done for few questions, for few sums in the previous exercise also. So directly I am writing the values here. I am not doing here rough work. You do that rough work and check these are the values or not. First term value is minus 1, and second term value is minus 3, and third term value is plus 9, and the fourth term as it is minus 5. Understood that step, my dear children? Right. Now by simplifying all these 4 terms, we get 0. I told you how to simplify the terms by adding first positive numbers, next negative numbers. After that we simplify positive and negative numbers. Okay, you follow the steps to get that number. Here we got 0. So here p of minus 1 is equal to 0. Finally we got a remainder. This is remainder. Remainder is 0. Therefore, by the factor theorem, we can say that we have x plus 1. X plus 1 is a factor of x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. Understood this sentence, my dear children? By using the factor theorem, we can say that here x plus 1 is a factor of x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. So after getting this result, we have to divide this polynomial by this polynomial using the long division. Here I have done the long division. Okay, my children? So here I am not explaining each and every step in this long division, because I have already explained how to divide a polynomial by a linear polynomial. Here also we are dividing this polynomial by a linear polynomial x plus 1. So I am not explaining in detail. I am not explaining each and every step in this long division. Finally we get x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. Dividend is equal to this divisor into quotient. So x plus 1 into x square minus 4x minus 5. Consider this result. Assume this result as equation 1. Again, if you observe here, these are the two factors. We got here only two factors for this cubic polynomial. What I said, for a cubic polynomial, three factors should be there. But we got only one factor. So here, if you observe this second factor, it is a monic quadratic polynomial. So for a monic quadratic polynomial also we can find two factors. So let us find the factors of this monic quadratic polynomial separately. Understood, my dear children? Right. Now come to this result. X cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5 is equal to x plus 1 into x square minus 4x minus 5. We assumed this result as equation 1. Okay, my dear children. And previously I told you this is a monic quadratic expression. Now we factorize this monic quadratic expression separately. So x square minus 4x minus 5 is equal to, we follow the same steps to factorize a monic quadratic polynomial. So what is the first step? Sign of the constant. What is the sign of the constant here? Minus. What is the constant here? 5. Ignore, neglect sign of the constant. Only numerical value. So 5. 5 can be written as 1 into 5. Here minus is the big number minus a small number. 5 minus 1, 4. Okay, my dear children? Right. Now we split the middle term. Split the middle term. So x square minus of 4x can be written as 5x minus x. After this 5, write x. After 1, write x. So 5x minus x minus 5. Understood this step, my dear children? Right. Now distributive property. We use here distributive property. So x square minus into 5x minus 5x minus into minus plus x minus 5. Understood this step, my dear children? Right. If you observe this step, there are 4 terms. This is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. I wrote the 4 terms here one by one. X square minus 5x, x minus 5. Here I am writing the factors of each and every term. X square can be written as x into x, minus 5x can be written as minus 5 into x, x can be written as 1 into x, and minus 5 can be written as minus 1 into 5. If we observe the first two terms, here common factor is x. So we take it out the common factor x. So by taking out x common factor, what will you get here? X minus 5. We write these two terms within the brackets. Understood this term, my dear children? This is only one term. Understood this part, my dear children? Right. Now from the third term and fourth term, we can take it. 1 is a common factor. So plus 1. Plus 1 is a common factor. By taking the plus 1 common factor, we get here x, here minus 5. Understood this second term, my dear children? Right. This is the first term and this is the second term. Again, from these two terms, if we observe, x minus 5 is a common factor. Again, we take it out, x minus 5 out, and within the brackets we write x here plus 1 within the brackets. Then we get the two factors. X minus 5 is one factor and x plus 1 is the second factor of this monic quadratic polynomial. So substitute x square minus 4x minus 5 is equal to x minus 5 into x plus 1 in the equation 1. In this equation, we substitute this result. Then we get x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5 is equal to, already x plus 1 is there. We write this one factor as it is. After this one, we write these two factors. X plus 1 into x minus 5. We can write the factors in any order. That is why I wrote this factor first, x plus 1 into x minus 5. So how many factors you got here? 3 factors. X plus 1 is one factor, x plus 1 is another factor, and x minus 5 is a third factor. Understood this part, my dear children? Right. Now I'm not explaining the remaining two questions, remaining two parts in this Roman number 5. You try the remaining two questions, remaining two parts in this Roman number 5. Okay, my dear children, if you have any doubt at any step, ask your doubts and get your doubts clarified. Okay, my dear children? Right.